Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Amawan coming to you with another lesson. All in the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, giving all the praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace, blessings, and salutations to all the Archim out there, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity in the name of Yahweh or Yahushai. So I've been meaning to do this lesson for about a week now. I couldn't find this video, and I saw another brother put it up, so I thought, I used his video to find the video so I could do my own lesson on this. So yeah, and this is not the actual video in front of me. I've just got it loaded up this way so I could play the video from the beginning. It's on TikTok, and the title of it, if you want to watch it yourself on TikTok, is why America will not, why the West will not fall. All right. And that's some super pride, man. That's some super duper pride, because we know, according to the scriptures, man, Babylon is going to fall the hardest. Babylon, aka America, is going to fall the hardest, man. But I'm going to get to the scriptures and that, but I'm going to let the video play and you can hear the pride for yourself, man. You know.
You want to talk about why the Western societies will not fall? I'll give you a couple examples. The F-15, the F-16, the F-22, the F-35, M1 Abrams tank, the Blue Water Navy, the KC-135, the KC-10, the ICBM structure.
You're saying all the money we spend on defense.
And the global positioning system. You want to come for us, you more than welcome to. The United States dollar is backed by the military, and as much as you guys want to sit there and complain, I'll say this right now. There is one country on this planet that has stealth capability. There's one country on this planet that I think has functioning ICBMs. I don't think Russia has a single functioning ICBM. And there is one country on this planet that actually has a functioning blue water navy. There's only a few countries on this planet that have air refueling capability. And the only reason why they have them is because we sold it to them. If you guys want to come for us, you can. The United States could take on every country in the entire world militarily at the same time, would be fine. Now, if you want to say cyber terrorism or there's a moral decay from the inside, cool, make that argument. The United States is not going to fall, not in our lifetime, not in the next 20 lifetimes. You want to talk about why the Western society...
I mean, that's crazy. And he's so confident in his words, man, that it's ridiculous. And I want to be right next to him. I wish I could be right next to him when Babylon falls, man, just to see the look on his face. But yeah, do you know what? That's the spirit, man, because I didn't even load up this. Scripture. I wasn't even coming with this, man. That's crazy. But I might as well start here, man. That's madness, man. It's not even madness. Why am I saying that? It's just the spirit, man. But sometimes when you see how it works, I'm just trying to find the best place to start this from. You know what? Let's just start from the top, man. So, and I'm gonna get the scripture that I was actually gonna get. I want to get after this, and there's so many. This could be like a 2-hour lesson. It says the word that the Lord spake. This is Jeremiah 15:1. The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. Declare ye among the nations, and publish, and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. So this is the publishing of that, man. This is the word in writing of the destruction and the fall of Babylon, man. It is for out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. Because we know that the biggest antagonist is going to be coming out of Russia, man. Right? They're the ones, they have the real capability. America runs on smoke and mirrors, man. They're about saber rattling, telling everyone else how powerful they are when they're really not. He mentioned Abraham tanks, man. Those tanks are dated, man. You could even go as far as to say they're outdated, man. he believes that he can take on the entire world. America can take on the entire world. The problem is that not only the entire world is going to come against America, but Yahweh Shai is coming back with them chariots, man. All the talk of all these F-16s, F-15s, and all of that, they're not going to be able to withstand the destruction. They won't even be able to understand the maneuvering of the chariots, man. They will not be able to catch that on their radars, man. All right, they're coming swift. These are machine. These are to the technology of the Most High that moves by the Spirit, man. Right, the angels control them with the Spirit. Anyway, reading on. It says, "In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, and and the children of Judah together, going and weeping, they shall go and seek the Lord their power, seek the Lord Yahweh their power. It says, they shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, Come and let us join ourselves to the Lord Yahweh in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten." And that's the elect, man. The elect and those chosen, that chosen remnant, man. Because the rest of our people are just heathens, man, and they're not doing that. You know, they're not weeping. They love it here. Verse 6 says, "My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray." And that's another lesson. "And they have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All that devoured them and their adversaries, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. Remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he-goats before the flocks. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." So those arrows are the missiles, man. Yeah, and it says none shall return in vain, which means they're all going to hit their targets perfectly for destruction, man. And he's spitting out of his mouth. He doesn't even understand what he's saying. This is written in the scriptures, man. Like, the Lord already knows what's going to happen, man. And he's given the visions to the prophets to write these words, man. So he already knows. So what I'm saying is this. It's a definite. Without a doubt, 100%, we know this is going to happen. And this guy's sitting proud, man. And that is a whole Edomite right there, man. You can't get any more. The words coming out of his mouth, he's going to rue the day when he said that. And he's going to have flashbacks of him sitting there on that podcast talking shit about how powerful Babylon is, man. And about how it will never be touched in 20 lifetimes, man. And he's going to see it in his lifetime, because we know the time is near, man. He says, "And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord." Why? Because they're wicked, man. You know, they've poisoned the nations, man. They've made them drunk. You know, they've made them drunk off of their indoctrinations, of their wine, man. In fact, let me just quickly jump around a bit, man. Might as well. Where am I? Right, it's like I'm going too far. Revelation 14:8. "And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, is fallen." And there's those words, man. Babylon is America, according to the scriptures, man. All right, for those that can accept and receive that, man, or receive and accept. Let's put it that way. All right, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And we know what the wine is, man. That's then You know, that's them going to the nations in Africa trying to force them to accept all this alphabet stuff. You know, that's them going other places and wanting to take their resources and wanting to control what they do and say, man. You know, putting their leaders in, their false leaders in as you know, in as inserts, man. You know, in their countries to so they can do their bidding, man. You know, so they are you know they are guilty of that, man. Let's get back into Jeremiah 50 real quick. I want to finish that off. Where was I now? Yeah, verse 11. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. Yeah, how they come fat, man? By taking all the resources and of all the other nations out there, man, having them under their control. They've got military bases in virtually every country on the earth. There's only a few left. You know, they're sitting pretty. You know, you try going, you try having another being another nation and trying to insert your military bases in Babylon, man. See how far that you get with that. You can't. It says your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, a desert, and the mother is Great Britain, man. You know, we could say England, but let's just say Great Britain because they're all under the same pay. They're all under the same umbrella. Yeah. So it says because of the wrath, verse 13 says, because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Every one that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. And just going back to verse 13, it's going to be desolate, man. No inhabitants ever. And that's as a symbol, as a symbol of their wickedness, man, and their destruction. You know, and to show that they, as much as they thought they were all powerful, man, they weren't when it came to Yahweh Shem Shai. Verse 14 says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Shout against, some of these I don't have to break down. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her, as she saith done, as she hath done, do unto her. I'm not going to read all of this because there's other scriptures I want to get into, and there's loads. So let me just jump around a bit. So I was going to get Psalms 68. And 17, because this man was boasting about the aerial capability. That doesn't mean shit. All right, he doesn't know, and that's the thing. He thinks that if there's going to be a World War III, it's only going to involve these other nations. Well, when that all starts popping off, man, that's when Yahweh Shai is going to step in with them chariots, man. Psalm 68 and 17 says the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. And this is a boast, man. This is a boast, right, from the Most High, because one of them chariots could decimate. They can't be touched. One of them chariots could decimate, man. But this is going to show who has the ultimate power, man. Right? Who has the ultimate power? And it's the Most High, man. I'll read that again. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000. Even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. And just just to add to that real quick. Revelation 1:7 says, "Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, man." So all kindreds of the earth will be crying and bawling their eyes out, sweating bullets, man, sweating bullets and shitting bricks, because it's game over. That when that happens, it's game over time. So that could bear with me. I'm just trying to find. Right, so let me start from 18. Isaiah 24:18. It says, "And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in a snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake." Meaning, there'll be no escape in that day, man. All right, nowhere to run to on judgment in judgment day, man. It says, "The earth is utterly broken down, the earth is clean dissolved, the earth is moved exceedingly." Verse 20 says, "The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be moved like a cottage, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass that in that day the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth." Right? So these rulers, right? These Babylonians and these Amalekites that are at the top, right? Who run things out of Babylon, man. They're about to they're gonna be hurt in the worst way, man. But not all of them, because they're gonna have to go through some severe punishment for what they've done. And she said, "And they shall be gathered together, as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison. And after many days they shall be visited." And that visitation is going to be hauling them out for their crimes, man, and for their punishment. Revelation 17. "And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." And that great whore is the whore of Babylon, right? "With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." And we went into what that is already. "So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns." And those 7 heads and 10 horns represent NATO and the EU, all right? "And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication." And obviously, we know it's not talking about a real, actual woman. "And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And that, that's because the blood of the saints, man, what they did to our people over there in Babylon, man. The Judites, man, suffered the worst out of all our people, man. Even when you look at the Gadites, they suffered, but they still managed to get a piece out of Babylon, all right? But the Judites suffered badly, man. The worst out of the lot. It's like let me jump down. Do you know what? Let me just carry on. It says verse 8 says, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. That's destruction, man. Let's get that word perdition real quick. Destroying, utter destruction. Let's get the Hebrew. That's it.
Strong's G 684. Apoleia.
It says that's it in the Greek, apoleia. Right. So destroying, utter destruction, a perishing, ruin, destruction. The destruction which consists of eternal misery in hell or the grave. It said, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. And there is the mind, and here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are the 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And that is that Neo Roman Empire, man. That Babylon's ruling right now. See, and the beast was that, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So, like I said, the NATO and EU. That's why this NATO is running around the outskirts of Russia, trying to get all these countries involved, man. Because who ultimately Babylon's running NATO, man. Babylon's running NATO, and all they're doing is trying to build up a world army, man. And if you have a world army, army of nations that have come together to build one army, who's the army gonna be against? It can only be against the actual people of the earth. Verse 14 says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords, and the Lamb is Yahushua, and the King of kings, and they that are with him are called the chosen and faithful. And he said, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples, and multitudes, and nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. You see, and the burning with the fire is the missiles, right? And they hate her. They only join unto Babylon, aka America, because they have no choice, because they are in control. If they don't do their will and their bidding, they put sanctions on them, or they they invade them and try to overthrow their own governments and leaders and replace them with their puppets. And these other nations know what America is all about, man. That's why they hate them. It says, for Yahweh have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, Babylon, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. I'm just gonna I might have to do a two-parter to this, man, because this is kind of going on, because there's so much scriptures on the destruction of this wicked place, man. Okay. Psalm 7:11 says, Yahweh judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He hath bent his bow and made it ready. He hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors. You see? So it says, behold, he travaileth with iniquity. So, those arrows, once again, are those missiles, man. And who are the persecutors? Esau, Edom is the persecutors. And Babylon, aka America. It says, behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and have conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come upon his own pate. I will praise the Lord Yahweh according to his righteousness, and will sing praise of the name of the Lord Most High, of the Lord Yahweh Most High. All right, so this is basically what's coming for them because of what they've done, man. They've basically done this to themselves. It's like you committing an endless amount of crimes, man, and expecting to not be punished for your crimes. How is that possible? What makes you think that you are untouchable like that? Isaiah 24, I've got something else here, but I want to read this while it's here. Isaiah 24:5 says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. So Babylon's defiled this place, man. Anything you find that's wicked and evil on this earth comes out of that place, man. All the vile spirits, man. I've read this already. What am I talking about? Slack. Yeah, I might as well read this. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Those unrighteous decrees, those what do they call them? Sanctions and you know, rulings that they do. You know, let's name a couple of them, man. You know what they do. What did Obama do? Legalizing, you know, that homo marriage, legalizing abortion, and all of this sort of stuff. Now, I got to pay for that. So that's wicked stuff, man. That's wickedness, man. So it says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless." It says, "And what will ye do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation which shall come from far?" Because that desolation is coming from far, man. These missiles are going to be traveling from all directions. "To whom will ye flee for help, and where will ye leave your glory?" Let me see if I can find something. It just came to my mind, man. Yeah, this is my. Yeah, I'll close out on this one because it's going a bit longer than I wanted to, and there's something else I want to get out before we get out and have our Passover service later on. So let me just get this out of the way, and yeah. So Revelation 18:1, it says, "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory." And I'll just make a quick point, man. These scriptures are telling you Babylon is going to be destroyed. Some average Edomite with too much pride than he should have, sitting there telling you that America will never fall, that the West will never fall. He's in for a major shock, because he doesn't understand what's going on out here. He thinks the only threat comes from these other nations surrounding, and he's been gassed up because America's never been touched before, and they're doing all sorts of things on the earth and getting away with it, man. But that doesn't mean anything, because this is just a matter of the Lord's word being played out in the Lord's time. America will fall. It says, verse 2, "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies." And I heard another, so all these other nations, that as much as they, and that just shows how weak these other nations are, because as much as they know how wicked Babylon is, they've still chosen to be a part, and just so they can get some riches out, just so they can tag along and get the crumbs, that have fallen off the table. And I heard, verse 4, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." And that doesn't mean to, if you're dwelling in Babylon, to jump on a plane and go somewhere else, because the destruction is going to happen everywhere. It just means spiritually to come out of her, let go of her, of the doctrines and the wicked ideals and the ways, come into the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the scriptures, the laws, statutes, and the commandments, man. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities, meaning that she's, that they've done so much now that they've gone too far. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, I am no widow, I shall see no sorrow. And that's exactly what that man was saying, basically. America shall see no sorrow, no damage, no war. The only wars they've had so far is internally, man. But he's about to have a rude awakening. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Stand afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour thy judgment come. For in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And I'll close out on that, man. There you have it. I could go on, man. Because Babylon plays a massive part in the end. Well, a massive part is going to be played on Babylon. Let's put it like that. They will be destroyed, man. Don't care about your F-16s and your F-15s and your F-16Cs and your Abrams tanks and your Navy, and your satellites. Because when Yahweh Shai comes back and when them missiles from every country, you're talking a good game, but Russia's out there working, man. The Lord has got Russia out there working. And you know what? I'm going to have to get one more scripture just because I said that. I think it's right. Yeah. Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. And there you have it, man. That waster is those missiles, man. All right. So, Lord, this is edifying. Once more, I want to give all the praise and the glory to Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, and Shalom to the next one.